The AFU have once again attempted to strike Crimea with drones. However, air defenses successfully intercepted the drones in the sky above the peninsula. Russian troops have launched a series of strikes on targets in rear areas in central, southern, and western parts of Ukraine. Once again, the target was an airfield in Starokostyantyniv, as well as industrial facilities in Pavlograd. The AFU continue to carry out strikes on border settlements in Belgorod region. A local resident was injured in Mokraya Orlovka as a result of an ammunition drop from a quadricopter. On the approaches to Kupiansk, the Russian armed forces continue their attempts to break into the AFU defenses near Sinkivka. The situation is complicated by weather conditions, which do not always allow for reconnaissance and drone strikes. In the Lyman sector, fighting is taking place in the area of the Torska salient and the Serebriansky forestry. The enemy has a network of long-term firing points in the area, which complicates the advance of the Russian armed forces. In the Siversk sector, Russian forces were able to slightly expand their zone of control. They have occupied the ruins in the south of Shpyrna and are attempting to advance further. West of Bakhmut, fighting is taking place near Bodanivka, which Russian forces had earlier managed to gain a foothold on. Russian armed forces units also managed to dislodge AFU forces from several positions near the Popivska tract. After clearing the Chernobylets residential area, the Russian armed forces are trying to expand the zone of control around the dachas. To the south, there is fighting near Klishchivka and Kurdyumivka, and near Andriivka, the Russian armed forces are trying to recapture a fortification near the dams and the railway line. Heavy fighting continues on the flanks of the Avdiivka fortified area. In the north, the Russian armed forces are attacking in the direction of Ocheretine and Novokalinov. In the south, the enemy is counterattacking in order to push Russian troops away from the Khimik district and disrupt their plan to split the Avdiivka defense into two parts. In the Vuhledar sector, the Russian armed forces launched several attacks and managed to occupy a couple of strongholds. Russian aviation and artillery are striking AFU positions on the approaches to Vuhledar and its vicinity. Fighting is also taking place in the Zaporizhzhia direction, near Robotyne and Verbov, where the AFU has been trying to break through the Russian defenses all summer. However, the AFU have long lost the initiative in this area, so they are gradually retreating as a result of counterattacks by the Russian armed forces. In Krinky, the AFU are trying to hold the bridgehead on the left bank of the Dnipro River at any cost by transferring reinforcements. The enemy is regularly suffering losses in watercrafts and manpower without any advance, but it has no plans to withdraw its troops from the small patch of land.